You could tell it's some tension. So one day I come to the studio, he's like, yo, it seemed like it's some tension in here.
He says that?
Yeah, to me and him talking. I don't know the exact words, but he says something going on.
Everybody wants a jacket. You want to do something, make a motherfucking hard night tour jacket. We don't want that shit. No, why do I need Beanie Man and Memphis Bleak wearing a Def Jam jacket? They on Rockefeller. All of a sudden, niggas got jackets with their names on and on our tour. It makes it look like a Def Jam tour.
So at that point, I was busting moves faster than probably any other artist they had there. And I'm pretty sure that other artists and Jay-Z didn't like how fast I was moving. So when Dame did offer me that, I'm like, that's just another announcement I can make, because it's looking like Cam was in a terrible situation. I'm starting to get my crew together with the Diplomats, and now I'm doing good as a solo artist.
You want me to keep it real with you, or you want me to lie to you?
Keep it a book.
I said the Rock Nation brunch ain't of nothing but Jay-Z putting a bunch of on the lawn and then going in the back door and saying, I told you I still run this shit. Give me the money.
Wow. We've all heard the stories, the rumors, and the wild speculations about Jay-Z's ruthless rise to the top. But now things are getting real. Cameron, Gilly the Kid, and others are pulling back the curtain on Jay's business moves, revealing that the mogul is more cutthroat than anyone ever imagined. Cameron and Gillie aren't just talking about their time with Jay-Z. They're exposing a pattern of manipulative behavior, career sabotage, and downright ruthless tactics that have left many artists in the dust. First up, Gilly the Kid is spilling some serious tea. And trust me, it's not a pretty sight. He's revealing how Jay-Z allegedly tried to lock him into one of the worst deals ever. We're talking about a contract that would have kept Gillie grinding relentlessly for next to nothing, while Jay reaped all the profits. And the thing is, this wasn't just a one-off for Jay. This seems to be his MO when it comes to working with artists. Gillie wasn't the first, and he surely won't be the last. According to Gillie, Jay didn't just try to mess with his money, he went much further. When Gillie rejected the deal, that's when things took a dark turn. Jay-Z is known for playing chess behind the scenes, and Gillie was one of his pawns. Gillie says that after he turned down Jay's offer, he found himself getting blackballed in the industry. Calls stopped coming in, opportunities dried up, and it became clear that Jay was doing everything in his power to keep Gillie out of the game. This isn't just about bad contracts, it's about control. Jay reportedly had a system where if you didn't play by his rules, you were going to pay for it. We're talking threats, career sabotage, and even straight-up blackballing. That's how Jay-Z allegedly ensured that nobody would ever shine brighter than him, by making sure those who dared to challenge him were buried beneath him. Gillie and Cameron have both pointed out that this was the true nature of Jay-Z's rise to power. He didn't just climb up, he made sure to step on others on the way. But the craziness doesn't stop there. Cameron's own personal experience at Rockefeller only adds fuel to the fire. If you've been following his career, you know that Cameron was on fire in the early 2000s. He had just dropped his third and most successful album, Come Home With Me, which became an instant classic. His collaborations with Jay-Z, Beanie Sigel, Kanye West.
He says he's in the studio playing it, and my verse come on, and Jay say, stop it, erase that shit, and just erase my whole verse. So Petey calls me, he like,
I gotta slow you down, though.
West and Just Blaze had solidified his place in the rap game. He was making power moves in the studio and the streets, and nothing seemed like it could slow him down. But behind the scenes, it was a whole different story. Cameron says that Jay-Z started feeling threatened by his rise. Cameron wasn't waiting for Jay's approval. He was making moves on his own, connecting with key people and securing his own bag. And that didn't sit well with Jay, who, according to Cameron, wanted to control every move. Jay allegedly began pulling strings to slow Cameron down, trying to isolate him from the people who could help him succeed. Cameron recalls a time when he brought DJ K. Slay to the Rockefeller offices. K. Slay, a well-known DJ in the hip-hop world, was tight with Nas, and Jay allegedly had an issue with that. When Jay found out, he confronted Cameron and made it clear that certain people weren't welcome. This was just the beginning of what Cameron describes as a series of power plays designed to keep him in check. Then came a major blow. Jay allegedly sabotaged one of Cameron's songs with PD crack. Cameron had worked hard on a track that was heating up, but when it came time to release it, Jay stepped in and made PD delete Cameron's verse. Just like that, the song was ruined, and Cameron was left with no choice but to accept it. But Cameron being Cameron, he got his revenge years later when he erased Jay-Z's verse from his own track, just to make a point. It was his way of saying, if you can do it to me, I can do it to you. The situation at Rockefeller only worsened when Dame Dash tried to make a major move. He wanted to promote Cameron and Beanie Sigel to positions of power within the label. Cameron was excited, thinking this was the break he had worked for. But when he learned that Dame hadn't even run it by Jay, everything changed. Jay immediately shut the idea down, making it clear that he was the only one who could make decisions at Rockefeller. The tension between Dame and Jay, which had been brewing for years, was now on full display, and Cameron found himself in the middle of it. Jay's control didn't just extend to his artists. He was known to be incredibly strategic, making sure to surround himself with people who could help him get ahead. And one of his most famous moves was the Rock Nation brunch. While many people see this as a gathering of the industry's elite, Gilly the Kid claims it's more like a chess game. Jay allegedly uses these events to handpick the artists who will help him climb even higher. It's all about control, about making sure Jay is always at the top. And when you look at Jay's interactions with people, it's clear who he truly respects. According to Gillie, Jay only grins when he's standing next to billionaires, not artists. Jay respects power, and in his world, the only people worth his time are those who have more power than he does. Everyone else is expendable. But what really stands out from these revelations is the way Jay treated Dame Dash. For years, Jay and Dame were brothers.
When I got to Rockefeller, you know, I tried to ingratiate myself with everybody.
It's a big word, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm trying to be cool with everybody.
Okay, right,
I'm trying to say, they already have something going, and I know.
Ingratiate.
So I'm trying to
look that up later.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to
You're like fast-tracking your situation.
Trying to be cool with everybody, because y'all got your own thing, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to come in here and seem like I'm stepping on toes or whatever. So I'm cool with everybody, you know, hey, this, that, and the third. And, you know, Jay's a competitor, you know what I'm saying? So me coming there, I don't know, this was Dame's situation. This ain't something that he did. So, you know, first thing that happened, I brought K Slay up there. And I guess I didn't know he was mad at K Slay because K Slay must have played Ether at the time, and he was mad at Nas for Ether and all this other
we
shit.
never heard this story, Ken.
Yeah, I'm telling you what happened. You guys K Slay. So
I've never heard this story, Ken. Wait a minute.
What?
So you saying you brung K Slay up to baseline?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is after K Slay, he definitely voted for Nas Ether. I remember this. Continue.
Yeah, so I brought him up there because, you know, we using K Slay to host our mixtape. So K came up there, boom. Jay wasn't there. But as I'm leaving, Jay is in the lobby of Baseline. So I walk K to the elevator, and I guess they said, K and Jay-Z said, what's up, whatever. So I walk back in, he said, yo, you gotta be careful who you bringing around here. We might have just slapped the shit out of K Slay. And I'm like, wait, what's going on, man? You know, I don't even know what's going on. He's like, yo, just saying be careful who you bring around. All right, cool, this your house. I ain't got no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Cool.
Building Rockefeller together. But once Jay got a taste of success, things started to change. Jay began leaving Dame out of major decisions, and as the years went on, he started taking control of the label without telling Dame. The betrayal wasn't just business, it was personal.
I'm like, yo, Jay in the studio, I'm like, yo, we might want to hop on this record. We building the buzz, and he'll just look like, okay, that's cute. Like, he didn't say it, but he's like, okay. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. So, I start heating up, you know what I'm saying? And he like, yo, it seemed, you know, you could tell some tension. So one day, I come to the studio, he's like, yo, it seemed like there's some tension in here.
He says that?
Yeah. to me and him talking. I don't know if exact words, but he said something going on. I just want to let you know I see y'all niggas rocking. I ain't got no problem. We all good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bet. Just got a song up right now. If, you know, if the tension is here, yeah, let's just do it now.
Right.
And he's like, bet. So we did the song. Boom. So I was like, yo, the song heating up, we might could do the video. He like, I said, okay, we back to that. Cool. So that.
And the breaking point came when Jay decided to work with R. Kelly, despite knowing what had happened with Aaliyah, who was once Dame's lover. To Dame, that was the ultimate betrayal. The fact that Jay-Z would go to such lengths to undermine Dame shows the lengths he's willing to go to keep his empire intact. But if Jay could turn his back on Dame, his so-called brother, then what does that say about how he treats everyone else in the industry? As for Gilly the Kid, he's now coming forward with stories.
So Petey's playing the song for Jay-Z, whoever else in the studio. And like I said, Petey Crack's story is on Vlad. He talks about a couple interviews. I already knew how it went though, but
You don't mess with that other outlet. So
yeah, so he's playing the, sorry about that. So he's especially that, I apologize. So a couple other videos, a couple other interviews he mentioned this. So he says he's in the studio playing it, and my verse come on, and Jay say, stop it, erase that, and just erase my whole verse. So Petey calls me, he like, can't.
I gotta slow you down a little bit. You saying the original one for Petey Crack, you're on there?
Yes.
With Jewels?
Yes.
Petey's in the studio. He actually plays the record.
No, this is what happened. So,
bam.
You know, Jay one day was like,
bringing Zeke in.
Yeah. Damn. Jay one day was like, I did a little something for you in the studio. I was coming in the studio, he was walking out. So I'm like, then he had something to Old Boy. And I was like,
this is Old Boy's already #1?
Yeah, it's popping.
This, all right.
This is popping.
Let's be clear.
Yeah, this is popping, Old Boy.
The rough draft for Old Boy.
No,
this is when Old Boy's already lit.
Right.
You on tour.
Right. So I listened to it and I was like, erase that shit. You see, did this shit to me, so I was like,
yo, you a different type of bag.
I erased it. And that's how the song got erased. You know what I'm saying?
About how Jay-Z tried to blackball him after he turned down a deal with Rockefeller, Gillie was reportedly left out of the loop, his career stalled as doors slammed in his face, all because he didn't play Jay's game. And Jay didn't just let it slide, he made sure that Gillie felt the consequences of rejecting him. Now the big question on everyone's mind, if Jay-Z was doing this back in the day, is he still doing it today? Is he still pulling the strings behind the scenes, making sure that no one artist can rise higher than him? Or are all these accusations just coming from people who are bitter about Jay's success? The truth is starting to emerge, and it's shaking the foundation of how we view Jay-Z's.
Because of these two bad deals that I came out of, I know where the money should be going. I know how much should be allocated to marketing, how much should be allocated to promotion, how much should be allocated to the studio, etc. I understood the business. So at that point, I was busting moves faster than probably any other artist they had there. And I'm pretty sure that other artists and Jay-Z didn't like how fast I was moving. So when Dame did offer me that, I'm like, that's just another announcement I can make, because it's looking like Cam was like in a terrible situation. I'm starting to get my crew together with the Diplomats, and now I'm doing good as a solo artist. Let me make this announcement, even though it's a real announcement that Dame told me, we just couldn't figure it out contractually. But I didn't know he didn't consult with Jay-Z about it. But when you ask me, do I feel the blame? Maybe I did jump the gun and talk about it too soon, because no contracts was signed, no deal was done. But I'm looking at it as, okay, this is Kim coming out of a shitty situation, busting all these moves in a small time.
Rise to the top. So, what do you think? Is Jay-Z really the mastermind behind a system that puts him above everyone else? Or is he just a victim of people trying to take him down? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's discuss, because this story is far from over. Keep it locked, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.